Man like Cam. Can we talk about the Conor McGregor interview? All right then. So Conor McGregor does this interview with Ariel Helwani, about 40-50 minutes long, going on about all kind of madness. First, he's come to apologise. He says he's come to apologise for hitting an OAP, a dude that didn't want to fight him, hitting him in his face because the man turned down his proper 12 shot. That's a madness. That's an absolute madness. An apology isn't enough. You shouldn't be hitting them old dudes. Anyway, he apologises. I apologise for that. I apologise for smashing the phone out of a fan's hands. The dude only wanted a picture. He only wanted a video, but I smashed it out of his hands. I apologise for that because I was on a mad one. We accept your apology, Conor. You accept it still. Ariel continues diving and asking questions. So what specifically, Conor McGregor, are you doing to address these anger management issues? Conor goes on about how he's spending more time with his family, he's focusing on his training, all of this good stuff. Elephant in the room, Ariel Helwani. How about you ask about the rape allegations? How about you ask about that? The New York Times published a massive story alleging that Conor McGregor has been accused of rape by a lady in Ireland. What does Ariel talk about this? What questions does Ariel Helwani level at Conor McGregor about this? Not a one. Or now, I'm still waiting for this question. Let me delve a bit deeper into MMA. So MMA, the gift and the curse with MMA is that we have, as MMA journalists, we have unbridled access to our sports stars. Unbridled is unheard of. You won't get that in any other football. You're not getting that at all. You get the press conference, you get the weigh-in, you'll get the open workouts, they'll do Q&A. So fans and MMA journalists alike have unprecedented access to their fighters. It just doesn't happen in any other sports. It doesn't happen. The downside of that, however, is that it's the responsibility of the journalists and fans to some extent, a lesser extent, to keep big fighters, big name fighters on side, and that often means not asking them the proper questions. So Ariel doesn't ask it because he knows if he asks that question, that's going to burn Conor McGregor, despite the fact that everybody wants to know what Conor's got to say on the rape allegation. But he needs to maintain that relationship with Conor McGregor to make sure that the next time there's a big fight with Conor McGregor and he's the headliner, that he's going to come on the Ariel Helwani MMA show. And unfortunately, that's just the way that MMA works at the moment. And that's bad. That's bad. So yet and still, the elephant in the room, Conor McGregor's rape allegation goes, we don't talk about it. We just don't talk about it. Similar thing with Ronda Rousey, right? Ronda wouldn't go on your show if you was going to talk about how she got punched up and lost twice back to back. The second that you raise that, as Max Kellerman did, in spite of the fact that she's promoting WrestleMania and she needs the media, as soon as she lost, well, we can't talk about that loss. That's a madness. And in that sense, no other sports is like that. Football, them managers always get the hard questions, but in MMA, if you want the people them to come back on your show, you can't level that. It's a shame still. So Conor McGregor goes on. I feel for the first 20-30 minutes, I didn't even know who that geezer was. That wasn't the Notorious. That's not the Conor McGregor that we've become used to. The charismatic Conor McGregor, the dude that red panty night and who the fuck is that guy and all this. That's not the charismatic Conor McGregor that we've grown used to. That guy felt like he was begging, for want of a better word, begging attention. Now Conor detractor fans would argue, has stopped dancing with the girl that brought him to the dance. The reason why he can do the proper 12, and the reason why he's a multimillionaire, and the reason why he can go and fight Floyd Mayweather in boxing and then come back afterwards, is because he was a brilliant mixed martial artist. An absolutely amazing fighter who kept winning. Plus, you had all the charisma to go with it. The fact that he could talk your ears off at the press conference, and he was funny with it too. Keep that same energy, Conor. You need to remain relevant. You need to keep fighting and you need to keep winning. All the other things on top are like icing. That's the cherry on top of the cake, right? But you need to keep fighting, yeah. Otherwise, MMA, as you said in your interview, brethren, MMA is forgetful. Its memory is very, very short. And sports fans have very, very short memories on top. So from when you haven't fought, and all we see is you on TMZ slapping people's phones out their hands and punching up old men at bars, we don't remember how brilliant you were against Eddie Alvarez. We don't really remember the Jose Aldo knockout. Well, we do, but it's kind of like, it's legacy, man. That's not current affairs. What is current affairs, though, is your bad behaviour, brethren, in the way that you can't manage your own anger. That's what we're concerned with. Meanwhile, Nate Diaz is jumping in there. Tremendous performance against Pettis. Jorge Masvidal is knocking people out in 5 seconds with flying knees. The game's kind of moved on, brethren. It's passing you by. So what you need to do, Conor, if I'm to give you any advice, jump back in the cage and knock some people out, because that's why we loved you. And then talk to it as well. That's, again, nice to have. So I felt a bit bad for Conor. It felt like he was... First 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the interview, he felt like he was begging it. He wants some attention, and MMA and UFC is passing him by because everybody else is killing it. What does he want next? He's saying that he'll take anyone. Again, not a very Conor-esque answer. Masvidal, Nate, whoever, Dustin, Tony, Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar? Where does he get that from? What's Frankie? Frankie Edgar's lost his last fight. He's not really been... Frankie Edgar, where do you get that from, Conor? So those aren't very Conor McGregor-esque answers. It felt like it was a different geezer that was talking there. For him to call out Frankie is an absolute madness. I want to hear you calling out Nate Diaz. Call out Masvidal, proper, direct, like you normally do. Talk to Khabib, which he did ultimately, but his call-outs were a bit like, not very Conor McGregor. Spoke to his desire to wanting the Khabib rematch. And then made a lot of excuses, which again, that's not very Conor to start coming out and making excuses. Against Chad Mendes, the dude went out there and beat up a geezer with a ruptured ACL, pretty much. Didn't really we only heard about it after the fact, you get me? And that wasn't even from Conor McGregor's mouth, that was from his coach. This time now, he's talking about, with Khabib, the camp was bad, and my foot was swollen, it was practically broke. My toes were coming out, the skin. Brethren, that's not what we appreciate about you, Conor McGregor. When you start making excuses and talking about, I could have banged Khabib if not for this, this and this. I'm like, well, I'm not about that life, bruv. I'm not about that life at all. Different Conor, man. It was funny to watch him in that begging state. He wanted it. I even talked to Ariel Helwani about how he'd been frozen out. Why don't you talk to me? He said, why is this the first interview that I'm giving in so long, yet my coaches have been on, and like, what is going on with that? I've never heard, part of Conor's cool and savvy and streetwise is that the attention came to him, right? You never heard Conor asking for attention and interview me and have me back on soon. So it's a weird one still. It's a weird one. What from Conor next? I hope you can, listen, the Conor McGregor that walked in against Marcus Brimage and Eddie Alvarez, light on his feet, crazy striking, super fast lightning reactions. That dude is really hard to beat, even for Khabib. I'm not gonna come out and say it like that. If Conor McGregor can get back to that guy, to remembering who he really is, quits in. MMA fans are winning. Question is whether he can do it, man. I don't know. So yeah, a bit of a funny reintroduction to where Conor McGregor is at in his life. He's got to apologise for these things, man, but we don't want to just stop doing this foolishness, man. Don't want to see you on TMZ. I want to see you in the UFC octagon. Leave a comment if you agree, disagree. Remember to like, subscribe to the channel. All of that really, really helps the channel and helps me to bring out more content more frequently. Back on the next video. Thanks for watching.